Welcome to Natural Habitat Adventures, Daily Dose of Nature. I'm your host, Sunny Vanderstar. Today's topic is Does Bhutan Hold the Secret to Happiness? And it will be presented by our fabulous NatHab expedition leader, Arpita Dutta. Arpita, thank you so much for being here today and for maybe answering this question for us. I don't know, it's a big one. So I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Let's go ahead and dive in.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sunny, and thank you everyone for tuning in today. And it's already 1:30 a.m. here in India, but I'm still excited, full on energy to present to you one of the place, I think, which is very close to our heart, as well as Sunny's as well, I know. And it's a very special place. And so I'll be more talking about Bhutan today. But to start with, I would take you to how the trip starts and how does it go and what all we see, why it's so special, why it's one of the, it's the happiest country in the world. So we'll talk about everything. And before that, I would say that how the trip starts is, so in this world map, we do this trip with Nepal and Bhutan. So here are these two countries, which is two of them are like a landlocked country between China and India. And of course, because of the mountain range, those countries are definitely the Himalayas, like the Himalayan range, they settle themselves, but they're very different in culture, in definitely the wildlife part and the people, the food, being so close to each other. But still, there is so much diversity between these two countries that definitely it's worth seeing them. It's worth feel this country together. So with that, and how we start is from Kathmandu International Airport, where you all come. We stay in Kathmandu, and from there we go to Chitwan National Park, which is more towards the western side of Nepal, and then we again come back to Kathmandu and fly to Paro, and from Paro we visit two other cities, which is Thimphu, the capital, and we go to Punakha, and we are back to Paro, and then you fly to Bangkok and then back to your home. So this is how the whole trip gets in of the 12 days of wildlife and culture and history. So with that, we start with Chitwan National Park. I'll go very quickly with Nepal part because it's about Bhutan's happiness and what kind of happiness we can acquire from them. That's the important part of it. And so Chitwan is more about the wildlife and adventure part, like safaris. So here, of course, our showstopper is the greater one-horn rhinoceros. And yeah, it's very likely to see them. And it's a thick riverine forest. So sometimes it happens that our vehicle is moving and suddenly we get to hear some sound and the rhino is right next to us. And even the last trip, I'm just back in December. I finished the one Nepal Bhutan trip. So yeah, a lot of incidents happened that we saw wonderful sightings of rhino. And yes, then we have leopards, we have tigers out there, but very difficult to see. They are very shy. And of course, because of the thickness of the forest, it's little dicey to, it's a struggle to see them. But once you see them, it's a very good sighting. And yeah, of course, we get to see two different types of crocodiles, which is the freshwater crocodile, the bigger one, this one, and which is the most unique one, and the critically endangered croc, which is called the gharial, which has the longer snout. So these are the two, and there are different types of birds. I mean, during the winter, while during the migration happens, sometimes it goes up to more than 700 to 750 birds in that area. So you can imagine the diversity of the forest and the different types of vegetations of Chikpan actually makes a home for different species of birds and animals, of course. So, and in Chitwan, we come across one tribe called Tharu, and we go for a village visit. We see how they live and their tradition, how they grow crops, how they live, everything we get to know about the tribe, and still they are thriving in that valley. And yeah, and definitely we look around in different places, and we come back to Nepal to get the taste of its architecture and culture and the heritage sites, of course. But once we sign off from Nepal, we fly to Paro from Kathmandu. And when you fly and you see this beautiful Himalayan range almost throughout the flight. It's an amazing feeling. Sometimes after that, I have a neck pain most of the time because I cannot even turn around my head. So yeah, it's that beautiful. Definitely, this is just a mobile picture. It doesn't do the justice that how you see it through your naked eye. Yeah, that's a splendid view from the aircraft. Yeah, then we land in Paro, and this is the Bhutan International Airport, and just see the airport. I mean, it looks like a museum, and it's not even look like a museum, it itself like a museum, because how they have created the airport, and inside the airport they have given so much of art, craft, architecture, that it is not less than a museum. And look at it, it's so like always there is not much crowd, so you get the vibe of that peacefulness starts from as soon as you land in Paro. And as you land, I would like to say welcome to Bhutan. And at the same time, I would like to greet you in the language of Bhutan, which is say Kuzuzam Pola. So you can actually greet people on the way, no matter who is, and they reply you back with the same. So yeah, that's a speciality. That's the first speciality you have in Bhutan. But it doesn't matter. They greet, they smile. It's a good feeling altogether once we land. So when we talk about Bhutan, it's like a tiny country, believes in the gross national happiness, exactly because why we are doing the webinar today, that how it can be the happiest country in the world. Why they have come across this, why they have thought of being happy is much more important than being wealthy. So this is definitely something. And in today's world, like, which is mostly ruled by money, or like it's collapsing the family, like traditional cultures and values. Even there are too much inequalities, large scale of environmental destruction and climate change. And this is the country that talks about maximizing people's happiness, and that must be something to look at, right? And being Bhutan is like a tiny Himalayan landlocked country with only 20% of cultivated area and 3% of the flat land. So you can imagine that only little amount of area is used by the human to live in. And that's the reason why, I mean, even the population is very low, which is 700,000 only, in an area of 38,000 square kilometer. 38,000 something square kilometer. So yeah, you can imagine, sparsely populated. Um, and with that, because when we talk about Bhutan, of course, we cannot leave the monarchy behind. And that makes it more difficult because Bhutan, before 2008, Bhutan has been ruled by the king. And it's mostly by all the kings, and how Bhutan has taken this democracy called the parliament system after monarchy. And generally, people want to be democratic, they want their own power, everything. But we know that, and once you visit, you will understand, they respect their kings uh, like their own family member, like the head of the family member. Or they literally cried when the current king has proposed to have a democracy, have a parliament. Then he wants to end this monarchy thing, because people were so happy, so relaxed under his leadership. So of course, with that, but before that, what they have started is, that four pillars the monarchy has started with, that the sustainable and equitable, socio-economic development, the environmental conservation, prevention and promotion of culture, and good governance. These are the whole thing they have started with. The monarchy, the king, has thought in 1970 he could understand that the if, and he actually had a legal code for this, that if the government cannot create happiness for its people, there is no purpose for the government to exist. Can you imagine, in today's world, the the government is thinking like that, that if the people are not happy in the country, there is no point being a government body. And they have restricted their things with these four pillars. And gradually these four pillars have gave this gross national happiness, which is for which there are 9 domains. And for these 9 domains, they have focused in psychological well-being, health, time use, education, culture diversity and resilience, good governance, community vitality, ecological diversity and resilience, and living standard. First thing which made me feel much better, this is my personal opinion or personal thought, that a country which can keep psychological well-being in their domain, and ecological diversity and resilience, of course, all the countries are now talking about environment, ecology, and I think they are the one who has taken this ecological thing so, uh, like, has given so much of importance. And especially people we are talking about, they have this index, and they have this like questionnaire. They have almost like 30 to 33 questions they have formed for each domain. And even for mental health, they have a like a set of questions, and they go to people, ask those questions, get those answers, and see where they are standing, and that's how they help them. Can you imagine? I mean, for me, I think this is a big step, that they are thinking in such a way. And Nepal, sorry, Bhutan think about in such a way that when they talk about gross national happiness, they actually put it more than GDP, which I hardly think that any other countries do that or not. And suppose for the time, I can't explain, like, otherwise we have to have only one webinar for only for this 9 domain. But quickly I'm taking out few points, which is the time use. You know, they think that it is important to spend time with your family and with your friends. So the timing, by 5 p.m. everybody is out from the office work. Like, no matter what work is left and all, that is the time you should leave from your work, from your working area. I mean, I sometimes think, oh my God, it's been 50 hours I have been working, there is no stop, sometimes happens. And imagine, they give so much importance to that. About the environmental thing, they could have easily done a lot of things, because whatever they have natural resources, but they don't do that because that causes a lot of pollution. That's a usage of resources, means you're affecting the natural base of that country. So they definitely don't do that. And community vitality, the donation, the community relationship between the families, the safety of the people out there, all these things matters a lot. Like, what is your wealth, what kind of house you are living, how much you are earning, how many members in the family. They have all this, like, in the gross national happiness index. So with that, and with all this thing, the kings have the current king's father has started. And then this current king has, like, he campaigned himself to introduce democracy because people were not ready. So he started campaigning on that. So he is the state head, but the country run with the parliament, I mean with the council of ministers, and that head by the prime ministers. So he doesn't get into a lot of things, but if he doesn't like something or if he needs to introduce something, he does that. For example, I'm telling you, since 2008 till now, people are voting and doing everything. But in the last trip, it was the 116th National Day of Bhutan, and during that day, King came out to give, to talk to the people. And there is a place, there is a small gathering area in Thimphu, and only 2,000 people. I mean, it can accommodate only 2,000 people, and it's only the citizens were there. I mean, because a lot of people wanted to, but they couldn't get inside because there were no space. And after the talk was over, we could see that people are coming out of, a lot of woolen, lot of shawls and mats, because they were there since 2:30 a.m. In the morning to attend the speech, because they know they won't be able to get like enter after. So imagine, for the little children were there with them, and they have been there, and there are a lot of people standing outside so that they can at least hear the king. So this much love they have for the king. So imagine how much he is a people's person, and they have always thought about the goodness of the people, that how the country can develop. And even between the different ethnic people, so it's a Buddhist country, almost 70, that 74% people are, I mean, 74-75% are Buddhist, 24% who are living in Bhutan are Hindu, and 1% of other religion. But how they treat you as one. Like, you, all the ethnic groups are staying together. They are like marrying each other, uh, having a peaceful life, and all this. And with those 9 domains, they have come up with that the skilled, being skilled uh, over there. Like, for everything, they have their universities, they have their colleges, they have their schools for art, architecture, for study. Anybody wants to paint, or the wooden like carvings, or they make different, which is weaving. Another beautiful thing in Bhutan, which happens, and those are very in minimum production, so that it remains, or it's been valued. So that's how they are made. And also their paper, handmade paper industry, that's absolutely fantastic out there. So yeah, they're focusing more on skilling the people out there, so that they can go, even if they're going out, so that they can bring back some revenue to the country. And of course, inside the country, definitely it works way better. And with that, and not only like the citizens of there, even for the nomads who are living almost near the 14,000 feet. So you can imagine there are no cultivation, nothing can be done. But government is supporting with by giving them medication, or if they need some emergency evacuation from there, government sends a chopper to bring them to the flatland, or wherever they need to. So, and that is also almost free of cost. And if they need to come for any urgency, that also from the half the price they come in. It's more like the taxi thing for the nomads out there. So imagine the government gave that much of attention to those people, and also restricted, like for those people. Before that, I would like to share that in that area of Bhutan, there one fungus grow, which is called the cordyceps fungus, the cordyceps sinensis, which has been like the fungus been affect the ghost moth, which stays underground, and then the fungus comes out from its head, nicely formed, and it has its medicinal values for energy, for stability, for libido, for good sleep. A lot of other medical stuff like use happens, and the government has prohibited the harvesting this cordyceps only for the nomads out there, because it's a back-breaking work. And but they earn almost quite a, like 30 to 40,000 USD in a year. Can you imagine? That's too much. But as I mentioned, that in Bhutan they all live, uh, they all help in between the communities. So no matter how much money they are getting, if anybody cannot go, or there are other nomad families where there are old people, so they kind of distribute, or they kind of help with the money to assist them. So this is imagine a government not only taking care of the citizen, but also to the nomads who have been staying far away, and they think about their happiness, or their living, or sustainability as well. And you know what, if you come to Bhutan and if you see those cordyceps packets, you would see even the name is written. I mean, the person who has harvested, the name is also written on that packet. So it's not only like giving the priority to those people. I think it means a lot for them as well. So yeah, this is how it goes. And of course, this time it was amazing, because initially there were like weekly local market. Now the local market is open every day, and 100% organically grown vegetables are sold there, because Bhutan believe in that, like having organic food, natural, using the natural things to grow them. And at the same time, not only food, even every time I go, I bring some incense sticks, because most of the thing what we get here in India has so much of chemical. But whatever I get from there, it's so good. And it's an amazing insect repellent thing. So it's really good from a natural thing to use there. And for me, once I go to the local market, and I know everyone, whoever visit that, they enjoy that, because if you love to cook, it will be very difficult for you to just look at them and like hold your breath. Oh no, I need this vegetable to, have. And I think what we eat during our stay, both in Nepal and especially in Bhutan, I think the vegetables taste awesome. Like you get every flavor, every crunchiness of that vegetable, whichever there on your plate. So even if you are not a vegetarian person, for Bhutan, you can try out each and every vegetable which are coming on your plate. So they are that good. And yes, with that, there are only 700,000 people in Bhutan, as I mentioned, but they have their favorite thing or favorite spice when we call about are the chilies, and their cuisine is influenced by Chinese, Tibetan, and Indian culture, but they have their own. And can you imagine that they consume almost 12,500 tons of chilies, uh, Bhutan use, and it's shocking. It's shocking that for only those 100,000 people, and then you have so much of chilies. But yes, they do that, and their national dish is called imadatsi, and which is my favorite. And in the last trip, I think everyone loved it. It's the chili cheese. They make it with processed cheese, as well as they use their own yak cheese, and it's delicious. And anyone who doesn't like hot like chilies, there are other chilies which is not that hot, and you can try out. I mean, wherever we stay, we can ask them to just make it without the hottest chilies and stuff, and you can just try the cuisine. It's very easy to make, and in that way, it's very delicious to eat. Yeah. So whenever we are there, I think every meal has at least one emergency on the table. Yeah, it's amazing. And their staple food is the rice, bread, those kind of thing. They just need a little bit of this, and they are done for their meal. And of course, with everything, with the people, with their like how the government or how the king have been like taking care of the people's happiness and everything, and I think they give more importance to nature, environment, and the wildlife. And for that, they have in their domain that there has to be 70% of I think 60% Bhutan or should be forest coverage should be there, but Bhutan has more than that, which is near about 70%. They have forest coverage, and I think that makes this country the first carbon negative country in the world. And they have many national parks, many protected areas. They have wonderful bird sanctuaries where a lot of migratory birds do come over. And but in a lot of areas, because they are very remotely located, a lot of areas there are not many places where we can stay. Like there are no good lodges and stuff. You can stay in the camp or just in the tent to enjoy those birding spots or to the wildlife. But gradually maybe they are developing, but of course they won't develop anything which will cause harm to the natural or the environmental, or on the base of environmental. To give you that example, that why and how they do it is of course the part of like they don't even there are virgin mountains in Bhutan, like which has been never hike or trek there. There is no mountaineering. They have prohibited that because in Buddhist religion or culture, they believe that there are gods and spirits who are living in the mountain. And when you say that you conquer the peak, you cannot do that. So imagine just the neighboring country, Nepal, is earning so much of revenue from just from Mount Everest or from the Everest base camp. But Bhutan, even another the Himalayan country, but they don't encourage mountaineering. They have completely prohibited that. I think it's like 600-meter, like any mountain which are above 600-meter, you cannot you cannot trek in those mountains. So before that, with the carbon negative and all this thing, I think we know about it. And but I'll take a little moment to show you the country as it is. Just few pictures I'll scroll through. This is in Paro, early in the morning. Look at this. That blue sky. The more you go there, like everywhere, you just come out and you see this gorgeous sky and those green, the refreshing air. I mean, every time I say just breathe. Uh, and the calmness of this place. Just see how many people are gathering. Do you see in these areas? It's always very calm, quiet. No, you hardly hear people are, shouting or honking or vehicles. And look at this, how beautiful the valley of Thimphu looks like. And it's just after like snowing, after the snowfall. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about, this beautiful images. I mean, there are thousands of images. I don't even know that how many I have taken. Every time I go, every time I click or few, because it looks so different in different season and different time of the year. And this is the Virgin Peak they have here from one area. We get to see them, and you will see that in the every mountain turns and in the higher area they would tie up this prayer flags. And because the wind, when the wind blow, the prayer flags, actually they believe that with the wind, the prayers which are written, that will not only stick to you, to yourself, it will go throughout. Like it will, with the wind will take the good vibes, the positive things, the good thoughts, and it will be over the valley, it will over the country. So this is how they believe. They don't only believe about themselves, like, okay, let the praying, let everything stick to us. They think about the whole community, they think about the whole world, and that's how they behave. That's how they every day their life, they go ahead with that. So yeah, with everything, with the culture of Bhutan, with the spirituality they have, and no matter from which religion you are, you would see them that they respect you as like the human. They believe the spirit in you, like how you feel about everything, like how you behave with the people. That's what all matters. And I think in that country, and that's the reason why it becomes a very like distinct world class, with their architecture, the happy and contented people, the national identity and the culture. Because whenever they go for a work, especially if the person is appointed in the government office, they have their uniform, and they wear that, and they feel proud of wearing their traditional attire. Even normal people, you would see them, the school kids, they also do the same thing. And of course, a carbon negative country, because of their beliefs on the environment, to save the environmental thing, to make it sustainable. They don't do mining because that is unsustainable. It will ruin the water, it will ruin the surface. That much they think about it. There are no traffic lights, can you imagine, in that whole country. And home to the Himalayan range. It's a safe country with low crimes. It has a young democracy, of course, and that's how they are growing. There are government policies for tourists itself, so they have many rules and regulations which we need to follow. And it is the last country to introduce television and internet, and they're very distinctive Bhutanese cuisine, and they are covered with their local flavors, which every time you go, every time you taste, and you feel great about being there. So this is about the thing of Bhutan, their happiness, their everything, and what all we enjoy out there. I think for the first is, I will always say that you don't have to be religious, but somewhere in Bhutan, because the nature is so serene, so pure, and the people who are walking around you, they have so much positive vibes, and they feel happy within themselves. And I think those things, you completely imbibe, or you get that feel. So whenever you are there, a kind of a different energy, a mindfulness, all this comes to you, and that feeling is outstanding. um, so with that, we do hikes, and of course we do 3 hikes out there and few walks. But those hikes are not only to visit those temple or the zong out there. There are different folklores. There are stories, mythological stories behind those visits, and at the same time, it's the hike. It's not to reach. So we have to have a goal, right? We have to reach somewhere. So we reach to all those songs. But I think more than going inside or being there, it's more the hike. Step by step, you make yourself ready for the biggest one, which is the tiger nest. Where I always say that it's a goal or it's a dream to achieve. And when you achieve with everyone, I think that's a happiness once you reach there. That's beautiful. Yeah. So this is the first one we go is Chimi Langhang, or we also call known as the madman, the divine madman. And of course, so we go there. It's a 30 to 45 minutes of walk and a short hike. I would say less than 50 meter. Like the elevation is. It's very easy, but yeah, we can look around a lot of things, and we can go there, and then we can get to know the story of divine madman. And there is a secret, or there is a, I won't say secret, but there is a story, but I won't reveal it here. If you Google Divine Madman, you will get to know. But once you come here and see it by yourself, I think that is the most exciting thing. For me, when I first visited Bhutan, I was awestruck. Oh gosh, how this thing happened. So actually, this is also called the, while we go for the trek, it's also called the phallus village. Yes, you have heard me right. It's the phallus village. So people worship phallus for fertility, and they believe that fertility and prosperity. So a lot of couples who got newly married and all, they go to divine madman, they worship, and they ask for like children. So yeah, this is how it is. But the walk, once you go, you will see a lot of drawings, a lot of structures on the go. I think that's very interesting. And we cross through a lot of like cultivated land and small areas where we get to see the local people, how they're living. So yeah, and this is how it goes. with the hike, we go from this path, and then gradually we climb up. And yeah, here Dorji, our most wonderful, guide out there, and I think he's the best. And so he has been telling the story, and we all were listening to him. After that, we come to Punakha, and from Punakha we go to this Dochula Pass, which is like at the 10,000 feet height, and this is somehow it covered with clouds. Otherwise, we see this whole Himalayan range out here at the back. So yeah, and see, this is all like you won't find much crowd unless and until it's some special or day out there. So yes, and our next hike in Punakha, we go to the Kamsung Vule Namgyal Chotan, and it has been built by the Queen Mother. And here, and this was also a very lucky time that we were the first one to reach there, and it's again around, I would say, an hour and a half of hike, but it depends, like it's no rush. So if you, depending on your physical ability, depending, and it's a very easy, a little easier trek. And if you want to take time, you may do that. So that's the thing. But it's a like we take an elevation of less than 200 meter. So gradually we start climbing up and prepare our body, and I think our like the strengthen our mental, thought to do the tigerness. So this is the process of doing it. But again, the hike itself is beautiful, and it's a three-storied monastery where we go up at the top, and this is how the hike happens. So you can see that it's a beautiful trail from how we go, and this is the area. And from that top of that temple, you get a view like this. I could capture only one portion of it, but it's entirely like beautiful. And even inside, we are not allowed to take pictures, so I couldn't. But it's so colorful, the smell, and the beautiful structures and the paintings and the stories with paintings. I think those are outstanding. Though, I mean, those tells a lot of stories. You feel a lot of calmness, and the beauty of those areas. And yeah, then depending on the time and the day, that how and when we are starting, getting back from there, we also visit to the Royal Botanical Garden, and it's a beautiful hike. Again, we get to see a lot of birds, spatially, and beautiful trees, and there are more than 40 rhododendron like plants are there. And yes, with that, we sometimes and look at the view of this Punakha Zong. Sometimes we do take a lunch, outdoor lunch from here, and look at the view from here. And that's the Punakha Zong, one of the most beautiful Zong in Bhutan. And even in this Zong only, their king and queen got married here, the current king and queen. So this is how we go inside the Zong, like completely inside the Zong, and we see again all the structures, the paintings, the stories, and everything out there. And Dorji, I think Dorji is the best person to explain all the stories, and he's the man out here. And with that, sometimes on a go, when we see people are playing archery, that's their national game. And sometimes their like spotting area is more than 150 meter. So they are that good, like they're sharp eyesight, and well practiced with that. So we were standing there, and literally, I mean, they play with so much of passion that sometimes we involve, you know, I mean, while seeing them, sometimes we applause, or we do all of like we voice their throws and everything. So yeah, that's pretty engaging with us, as well as with the guests, definitely. And with that, we like we prepare ourselves for the last hike, and I think for which we definitely think about Bhutan. One of the reason is the tiger nest. Again, it's not only a hike, it's like a dream what you see. And once you reach, slowly once you go there, you really understand that how, and I mean, what's in the world could have like person would have thought to build a temple in that steep mountain. And then the beauty of the temple, it's just outstanding. Yeah, it's a moderate hike, and we have enough time in the morning, so there is no rush. You can go at your own pace and own speed. No, nothing, because it's the same route you have to go, so no hurry, no rush. So you can take up, as long as you can walk, you can pull yourself up out there, and the time you feel that it is not happening, you can go back and you can take rest at the hotel. So there is no like rush to do it. And this is the hiking trail, and this is how, from the point how you see tiger nest. And then we actually go down, and again you see the stairs here. Again you climb up and you go inside this you visit this whole temple area from inside. So yeah, this is how the tiger nest and everything that's there. And we come back, we take rest, or you can go out in the market, like the local market. They have their handicrafts and souvenir shop. And so if we have time, we can visit to those markets, and you come back. We have a wonderful night out there. And yes, with all this, with recollecting all the memories we spent in Nepal and in Bhutan, and that happiness, what we see, what we could feel, and I think the spiritual lift, what happened in Bhutan. And at the end of the day, we feel happy, and we feel great about, finishing, to achieving that tiger nest trek. And that makes us really, really happy. And definitely, before I end it, I would say that Bhutan might not be a wildlife thing. We see a lot of birds, definitely, but it's not very wildlife like we do it in Nepal. But Bhutan has a different aura. I think if you come, you would understand. And being here in the happiest country and the carbon negative country itself give you a lot of memories once you go back, for sure. Thank you so much. I'm ready to take up the question, Sunny.
Thank you so much, Arpita. That is just such a thought-provoking question that you're asking, and it's really interesting to see how this country and this culture is approaching it. We've got lots of questions, so we'll go ahead and dive in. In your opinion, what is the status of women in Bhutan?
Oh, that's very good. They're free to have their own opinion. They are free to move around. They get the same like for work, for weaving, or if they want to do some. Generally, I haven't seen many women doing the the skilled one. I mean, when it comes to wood or some strong metal things. But you would see them like in the office work. They are active. You school them almost the same ratio of female and children are going. So yes, it's a very respectful place for the women.
Hmm. You did touch on this, the answer to this question, but if you could remind us the main religion or religions in Bhutan.
It's Buddhist. It's a Buddhist country.
And relative to Hinduism, is it
Related
like
to only to 75% is Buddhists are there, 24% are Hindu, and 1% of other religion.
Okay. And are some of the nomads Sherpas to support their families? Do they help leading, high altitude expeditions?
So Sherpas, when we talk about high altitude expeditions, so sometimes if we are, as I mentioned, that if it is 600-meter, less than 600-meter area, sometimes they take their yaks. That's to, to transport goods from one place to another. That's how also they get paid. But I think they're very, very small population, Sunny, out there. So this cordyceps thing, imagine that's the reason why government has prohibited for anyone else or any community to work on that. They are the only one who are harvesting the cordyceps, and cordyceps you cannot cultivate, right? It's a natural thing to grow. So, and as I said, that there are 30 to 40,000 USD they earn, like 1 kilo, only 1 kilo cordyceps cost that. So you can imagine that they get that amount.
So if I understand correctly, the government has made it more profitable or desirable to harvest
Yes,
cordyceps than
for them.
so
Yes.
people are not lured away
Yeah.
to climb mountains and so forth.
Yes.
Um,
And sorry to interrupt, and at the
mhm,
same time, because they don't want all of the people to do the harvest so that something remains like that, right? I mean, if they allow everyone to do that work, then also it's another, there would be an environmental effect, which
mhm.
the Bhutan government doesn't want that. So it's a very small, very tiny community which do this. Yeah.
Interesting. Can you talk about prisons in Bhutan? Do they have them?
Yeah, they do have, and it looks very nice. You don't even, I mean, it doesn't even look like a jail. I can't explain how does it look like, because of the first time I'm just laughing because the first time I saw some, orange color uniform are walking. I said, okay, wow, this is something good place, like another temple or another house like that. And then I got to know, no, that's a prison, that's a jail. I said, if somebody has, I mean, saw such a beautiful jail and they're like moving around like this, I think they are in a good place. I mean, so yeah, I'm laughing
Interesting.
because yeah, it doesn't look like a jail. Definitely, they do have a prison, but as I mentioned, that the crime rates are very low, very low.
So, so instead of it feeling like a punishment, it's really more of a healing opportunity.
It's a heal. Thank you so much, Sunny, for mentioning that. Exactly that what it is. You know, it's more like, I mean, seeing that what exactly these people are going through and how they can bring this, this crime thing out from their life. Exactly what you said. Thank you so
Hmm.
much for mentioning. Yeah, yeah.
What a nice perspective on prisons. Um,
True.
what is the average family size? How many children do the Bhutanese tend to have?
Ah, oh gosh, I need to get back with this answer. I,
Okay.
I really don't know. Yeah.
And what about the military? Do they have a military? And can you talk about any qualities or characteristics you've observed that might be in contrast to our approach to protection?
Uh, yeah, but true. But the thing is, once we talk about the military part, I think they are not so much into the military system I mean, in other countries because they are peace-loving countries. So it's not that they are spending or they have a huge army. They're building up a huge army for anything because I think they have a very good relationship with their neighboring countries. definitely, but they do have, but like exactly if I say that to give a detail on that, I think even I have to study a little bit more on their military system.
Hmm.
Hmm. But a good question.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Does their water need purification?
Water purification?
Hmm.
Oh yes,
Is there?
they do. Yeah, they have a good system of everything out there, and especially, you know, as I said that they encourage everything for like organic farming and stuff, so that you know the drinking water, all the rivers doesn't get polluted. So
Hmm.
imagine everything they taken care of, and of course they do that. And I mean, how normal water gets purified in the like purifier,
Hmm.
and that's it is, yes. And oh, and the thing is that they have this hydroelectric thing, only they are selling it to India. So that's one of the biggest like revenue they generate by selling the hydroelectricity to India. Yeah.
Interesting. And can you say anything about the local music? Is there a local music scene, or what type of music do Bhutanese
Yes.
enjoy and produce?
Yes, yes. We do attend the local music. We do attend the local dance, and you will be welcome over there to join as well. Though it looks very easy, you know, the dance steps. But once you are on the stage, I could never even move my waist, not even my feet. So I'm the person who is behind and clapping, but it's very, very difficult to do that, of course. And imagine, it's a very, I mean, whoever has asked is good that you have come up with the point, because they are the last country to introduce televisions or internet. Imagine they don't have their communication or their entertainment were always like any information or any mythological thing what we used to see in movies, like you know the storytelling, those
Yeah.
storytelling were done by the dance or the music. That's how
Mm.
it was. And they have music for everything, for harvesting, like other mountain people have. They have song, they have dance for everything in their
Mm.
life.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, that is unfortunately the last question we have time for today, so I will hand it back to you for closing comments.
Yeah, closing comments. I'm already like I'm already in Bhutan.
I'm with you.
Yeah, and yeah, this is a wonderful feeling. And before I won't say it's a closing comment, but I just want to make you feel, because it's almost 2:30 a.m. here. But you know that feeling while talking to you, I don't know what I all said, but while talking to you, every time I could feel that I was present in those areas. I could see those smiling faces, I could see those beautiful children out there, and that serenity, like I was breathing every breath I have taken with fresh air. That all those chanting, I don't know the meaning, I don't even understand that, but that vibration, the vibe of it, I think I'm still in that zone. And it's a beautiful country. And thank you so much for listening to me and asking me so much questions. That is the best part of it. And thank you so much. And all of you have a great day ahead and a great weekend ahead, rather.
Mm.
And Sunny, thank you so much for hosting it so nicely. Have a great day, you too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arpita. Thank you for transferring some of that vibe to all of us who are in all different parts of the world. You use the word imbibe when you're talking about taking in the sights and the sounds and the vibration of Bhutan. And I think that's just such a great word to describe what I can sense from you, which is you don't just bring it into your brain, you have brought it into every cell in your body. And when you
True.
recount that, it is a vibration that's going out,
It
this
is a
sense
vibe.
of happiness and peace and interconnectedness that you can observe in the ecosystems, but also goes
Totally.
beyond that. So thank you for bringing us that vibe today and for bringing us to Bhutan. I also want to thank everybody who tuned in. Please join us again tomorrow for our next daily dose of nature. You can check out this week's lineup, including registration links, on our website at nathab.com/webinars. We did record today's presentation, and we will have the replay available on our website soon. With that, I'll conclude the webinar. Have a wonderful day, everyone.